Okay, I want to give you guys an update on Charlie. I haven't made a video in a while because I've been busy painting boats and doing boat things and being a boat person. But we made a huge amount of progress on Charlie. My garage is like a cabinet shop right now. We've been cutting, we've been welding, we've been doing carpentry, we've been doing all kinds of stuff, framing and some plumbing, and my truck is full of stuff, metal and wood and a door for the bathroom. And here's Charlie with his fold down door. The last time you guys saw him, he had a roll up door, and I obviously took that off. This is still the roll up door, and these are the tracks that it used to roll up on. And then we've got some framing work in here, and that's going to be insulated, and then there's going to be a floor on top of it. We've got steel cable holding the door, and it does go up and down, and it's almost ready to have the weather stripping put on, but I can't find the weather stripping I want. I want you guys to comment on this video with anything that you see that I could have done better, or cool ideas. While we're in the building process of this truck, I'd love to hear some cool ideas that we can add to it that you guys have. So it might as well be now while it's still all sticks and not finished. Anyway, give you guys a tour of the truck. We'll go start at the front. In the cab, I've added an armrest because these trucks are horribly uncomfortable. We've carpeted the wall. I still have to get the metal C-channel that's going to go around the door frame to make it all pretty on the outside. But the armrest was a major addition to this truck. It was horrible to drive with no armrest. Obviously, Charlie has a door now. I still haven't put the striker in yet, so it still rattles. And I've got weather stripping to go around in there so it doesn't rattle anymore. Nice color, deadbolt, and low profile doorknob so that it doesn't hit the wall on the inside. That was the goal there. Because if it was a normal doorknob, it would bang into this wall right here when there's eventually a wall there. And speaking of that wall, we now have a shower. So, the shower is done. It's interesting because there's a slope here in the box truck because the corner's rounded up there. So Brad got these metal, my friend Brad's been helping me, he got these metal studs and he bolted them into all the metal work, so that will end up being able to finish it on a 45-degree angle. But it makes the shower have a 45-degree angle, which doesn't really matter once you're in here. The shower head will be there, the top will be here, and we'll have a shower. And then over here is the rest of the bathroom. Not very big, but just big enough. The toilet's gonna go right there. It's a Jabsco electric flush, and they're very low toilets, so it's gonna sit up on that pedestal, and we're gonna tile that in, and then its plumbing is gonna be down in there. We'll have a door right here, 45-degree wall here with a light switch and a toilet paper thing, and that'll be a wall. And that's the bathroom. Now, I wanted for sure a human-sized shower in here, and I didn't want to tile it because I'm terrified of going down the road and all the tiles falling off. Across from the bathroom, we have what's shaping into a kitchen. Brad's been working on drawers and carpentry and all that fun stuff. There's going to be a fridge there. It's exactly the right size for a bar fridge to fit in there. We got butcher block countertop that I just bought. I haven't oiled it yet, but it's ready for oil. That's going to be the finish on it. I know a lot of people do polyurethane and different lacquers and varnishes and things like that, and everything I've read is you have to refinish that every couple years by sanding it right back down. What I read from a Pinterest mom was if you oil it with cutting board oil, it will look wonderful. It'll soak in the cutting board oil. It'll be shiny and beautiful all the time. And as it wears off over the years, you just apply more oil. So yeah, that seems much better. And I did a test piece in the garage and it looks great with the oil on it. So it's going to be cutting board countertops. The sink's going to go right here. We've got to cut the hole. Cupboard door right here. Shaker fronts on the drawers. Shaker door. And then right here, I'm probably going to do a 2-burner LPG. So there'll be dead counter space here to work on. It'll be a sink here and then a 2-burner right here. And that should give us everything we need to be a kitchen. We're also going to put upper cabinets in right here. Probably 3 doors, and then it's going to go back into this as a little cavity back there. Awesome stuff so far. Moving back, we've obviously got a floor in. We've got insulation on the walls. We've got a window, which we never had before. This truck was just a box truck, but we found this RV window for $100, and it opens, and it's got a screen that opens, and it's just wonderful. I think it's super hot in here. We're gonna leave that open for now. That's all framed in. I've got to figure out how to do the trim work, if you could leave a comment, because the wall is going to be flush with these boards coming up to the window, and then obviously square. How do we trim this to look nice as a finished product? And I don't know the answer. If you could leave a comment, let me know what you think. That'd be great. Insulation all the way back, and I'll show you guys the door arrangement. So we've got ATV winch, 3,000 pounds, and it pulls down through a channel at the bottom of the door and back up to a pad eye right there. And to make sure that it doesn't wear out the wood, I've sunk in a piece of 1/8 inch steel plate on both sides. So as the cable comes through the wall, it goes through the 1/8 inch steel plate, and that way it doesn't wear anything out. Not that the cable will be going through here at 100 miles an hour anyway. So the chafing on the metal plate shouldn't really matter. Might grease the cable, might not, don't know. These boards are pocket screws into the floor and into all the ribs, and these are hardwood ribs that they put in these trucks. So this thing is absolutely rock solid, as is that one. And that is gonna be the basis of the bed. So the bed is gonna be on this wall, and it's going to flip closed, queen size bed, and then flip back down. And to make the pivot points for the Murphy bed system, I've got a couple of 9/16 bolts. So what I'm gonna do is notch out a little bit in here, like about the same depth as a hinge would be if you were going to put a door on. Notch it out a little bit, put a steel plate in there, drill a hole, and weld a nut on the back side of the steel plate. So there'll be a nut embedded in here with a steel plate holding the nut. And then as the bed comes over to it, there'll be a steel plate on the bed with a bolt welded to the steel plate, and it'll thread into that nut. So there'll be a flap here that spins on its threads inside that nut, and the nut's welded to a steel plate, one on each side, so that it can pivot like this. And that way the bed can mount to the underside of the steel plate and the whole bed can close, thus making a Murphy bed. And the 9/16 bolt should take a ton of weight because it's all shear strength, so it'll never really break, and it'll stay nice and tight because it's threaded in. So I thought that was the best way to do it outside of buying a Murphy bed kit, which is really expensive. This way should work out really well. It just requires a little bit more welding, which I've been doing a lot of because this whole door is framed with steel that's all been welded all together. So very strong door. I'm not gonna go out and bounce on the end of it because that seems stupid. I still have to make the legs. It's gonna have drop down legs that will hold the weight so that the winch doesn't have to hold the weight of the door. So if you're sitting out here at night, it'll be, you know, lawn chairs and looking up at the stars or whatever. The legs will support the weight, and the legs are going to be using adjustable length via foundation ties, the big bolts that you put in the foundation to bolt a house to the foundation. They're like 1-inch bolts. Those are going to be embedded in the legs so they can unthread and get longer or shorter depending on what they hit as the door comes down, because you won't always be on level ground. And then we're going to do pot lights. I think 10 of them, one in the bathroom, one in the kitchen, and then one in each blank spot here. We'll make 8. And then these lights are controlled by the dome light switch in the truck. So we'll do a pot light here and a pot light on the other side controlled by the dome light switch. So if there's no power in the box, you can turn that on and these 2 pot lights will come on. The other 8 will be independently switched in the truck. So that's a lot, and we've done a lot of work, and I'm really looking forward to what you guys think, what you have to say about it, what your ideas are, because I've got it all in my head the way I want it to be, but I know you guys will come up with some cool stuff that I didn't think of. So I can't wait to hear from you in the comments. Water tank will be there, batteries will be there. I still haven't figured out what the batteries are gonna be because they're really expensive, and I want like 400 working amp hours, and that's gonna be like, what, 5 grand? It's nuts, man. Batteries are crazy. I was hoping somebody would sponsor this channel and give me some batteries, but I already have the solar panels. They came the other day, and I'll show you those right now. They came and unloaded them the other day, and I just got them stuck in the corner here. So that is about 6 feet. It's like 5.6 feet by 3.5 feet wide, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, 425 watts a piece, for a total of 1,700 watts of solar. That's insane. So the solar controller, I'm gonna get the Victron, I think it's the 200/100 or 200/150, one of them anywhere. It's a 150/100, and then 400 amp hours of batteries to feed. So at max power, let's say parked in Arizona, maximum sunlight, it should be able to pull about 120 or 125 amps down from the sun and stuff it into the batteries. 125 amps is what most houses are. It's what this house probably is. 125 amps come in from the street. So it will make as much power as my house could possibly use with everything on right to the limit, which is a lot of electricity. I cannot wait to get that hooked up and see what it produces, because the truck's obviously going to have an office in it. In between the kitchen and the bed is going to be a desk. We have the other butcher block on the wall over there to make the desk. Wow. Anyway, can't wait to see what you guys have to say in the comments. Can't wait to continue the build process, and I'm going to be filming a lot more to show you guys the projects, especially the bed, because the bed's going to be like totally witchcraft. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.